Hey there, my friends. It's good to have you here with me today. Grab a seat, maybe a warm drink, because I want to open up about something that's been weighing on me for a while. This story is called I Keep the TV On All Day. It's the only voice in the house, and it's mine, about what happens when the life you built gets too quiet and how you find your way through the fog. I'm Tom, 63 years old, just a guy from Lansing, Michigan, and I've got a tale to share about losing my bearings and clawing my way back. Let's walk through it together, like we're swapping stories on a front porch. The TV's never off at my place. From the second I roll out of bed till I'm nodding off in my chair, it's humming. Game shows, old sitcoms, commercials for stuff I'd never buy. It's not about liking Family Feud or caring who wins on Chopped. It's the noise I need. Without it, this house feels like a tomb. Too big, too still, like it's waiting for someone who's never coming back. Steve Harvey's laugh, canned applause, even that annoying jingle for car insurance. They're my lifeline, the only voices keeping me company most days. Turn it off, and all I've got is the creak of the floorboards, the drip of the kitchen faucet, and my own thoughts, circling like vultures. I live in a two-story house on the west side of Lansing, the kind with peeling shutters and a mailbox that leans a little. Been here since '89, when I was 27. Full of dreams and dumb enough to think they'd all come true. Me and my wife, Diane, raised our kids here, Katie and Brian, back when life was loud and messy in the best way. Diane would be in the kitchen, whipping up her famous lasagna, singing Dolly Parton So Bad It Was Good. Katie'd be sprawled on the couch, sketching flowers in her notebook. Brian be out back, kicking a soccer ball till the grass wore thin. I get home from the factory, 30 years on the assembly line, building car parts, and the chaos was my reward. Slamming doors, spilled milk, Diane's laugh that could shake the walls. That's what made this place a home. Now it's just me, a gray cat named Smokey, and the TV, trying to fake what's gone. Diane left us 9 years ago. Pancreatic cancer, fast and mean. She was 52, still planning our big trip to the Grand Canyon. Still beautiful even when the chemo took her hair. Losing her gutted me, like someone ripped out the foundation of my world. I kept her recipe cards on the counter, her winter coat in the closet, her favorite mug, a chipped thing with a sunflower, by the sink. Sometimes I catch myself waiting for her to walk in, scolding me for leaving dishes out. Katie and Brian were rocks for a while, calling every day, visiting when they could, but life pulls you apart. Katie's in Seattle, a social worker with a fiancé and a dog. Brian's in Austin, coding for some startup, always on about apps I don't understand. They text now and then. Katie sends pictures of her hikes. Brian shares memes. But calls are rare, maybe once a month if I'm lucky. I raise them to chase their own paths, and they did. Still, I keep my phone plugged in, volume up, screen glowing like a beacon nobody sees. The TV's my constant, my crutch. I flick it on at 6 a.m., before my coffee's even perked. Strong, no sugar, like I've drunk since I was 20. Today's show's on while I choke down toast, maybe an egg if I'm feeling ambitious. It stays on when I mow the lawn, when I pay the gas bill, when I stare out the window at kids. I don't know riding bikes. At night, it's Blue Bloods or the Andy Griffith Show, stories I've seen so many times I could recite them. I don't watch to learn anything new. It's just sound, proof the world's still out there. Silence lets the ghosts in. Diane's last smile, the kids' empty rooms, the life I thought I'd have. With the TV, I can drown out, pretend I'm not the only one left. I wasn't always this guy, holed up with a remote and regrets. Back when I was Tom the Doer, worked overtime by this house, coached Brian's Pee Wee football, built Katie a bookshelf for her art supplies. I was the dad who fixed scraped knees, the husband who'd sneak Diane away for a drive-in movie, the neighbor who'd grill for the block on Labor Day. We'd pile into the backyard, burgers sizzling, Diane's coleslaw, Springsteen on the radio. I'd look at my family, my friends, and think, this is it, man, you made it. But the factory downsized 5 years ago, gave me a pat on the back and a pension that barely covers a mortgage. The kids grew up, moved out, friends drifted. Some retired south, some passed, some just stopped calling. Now the backyard's overgrown, the grill's rusted, and I'm nobody's hero. It sank in deep last Thanksgiving. Used to be a production. Diane's turkey, Katie setting the table, Brian sneaking rolls before Grace. We'd laugh, argue about football, nap in a food coma. Last year, though, Katie was stuck in Seattle, work emergency. Brian had a deadline, said Austin's too far for a quick trip. I didn't fight it, didn't want to guilt them. So I bought a turkey breast just for me, roasted it with a side of canned corn, sat at the dining table, TV blasting some Macy's parade, floats and bands I didn't care about. No calls, no texts, not even a happy Thanksgiving, Dad. Smokey hopped on the chair next to me, staring like he knew I was faking it. I pushed the plate away, untouched, and thought, this ain't living, Tom. This is just existing. That day broke something. I started slipping bad. Sleep was a mess. Up at 4 a.m., heart racing for no reason. I'd skip breakfast, lunch too, settle for crackers or a beer. My shirts hung loose, belt notched to the last hole. I stopped shaving, let my beard go scruffy. Nobody's coming over, right? My neighbor, Mike, he's my age, lives across the street. He'd wave, shout, "Hey, Tom, you good?" I'd nod, scurry inside, afraid he'd see the truth. I wasn't good. I was shrinking, turning into a shadow of the guy who'd arm wrestle him at barbecues. The TV got louder, like I could hide in it, but it didn't fix the ache, the fear I'd lost myself for good. One afternoon, I was out front, sweeping leaves, TV on, Dr. Phil yakking to the screen door. Mike was raking his yard, saw me, walked over. "Tom, you look like you're auditioning for a zombie flick," he said, trying to joke, but his face was serious. "Come to the Legion with me tonight. They got wings, beer, some old farts like us." I wanted to brush him off, crawl back to my couch, but Mike's got this bulldog stubbornness. I said, okay, mostly to shut him up, but part of me wondered if I could still do it. Be around people, be me. That night, we're at the American Legion, a dive with sticky tables and a jukebox stuck in the 80s. Mike's eating hot wings, talking about his daughter's new baby, the Pistons' garbage season. I'm quiet, nursing a Miller, feeling like I don't belong. But then I start talking about Diane, how she'd spice her wings to burn your tongue off, how I keep her mug out like a fool, about the kids, how I miss their noise, how I'm scared they've outgrown me. Mike doesn't flinch, just listens, says he blasted Zeppelin for months after his dad died. Same kind of lonely. It's not a fix, but it's something, someone seeing me, not just a shell I've been. That night lit a spark, small but real. I didn't want to be the guy buried under Matlock reruns, waiting for a life that's gone. So I tried something, called Brian late after his work hours. He picked up, surprised, voice soft, told me about his job, how he's stressed but proud, how his boys asked about Grandpa. I told him about the factory, how I taught him to throw a spiral in the yard. We talked for 30 minutes, longest in years. Katie texted me a picture of her dog chewing a shoe. I called her, heard about her cases, her fiancé's bad cooking. She laughed when I said I'm worse, just toast and dreams. It wasn't everything, but it was a bridge, a way back to them. I started stepping out. 2, found a veterans group at the community center. Never served, but my dad did, and they let me in. Bunch of guys, some my age, some pushing 80, swapping stories about Korea, Vietnam, or just life. I'm no talker, but I listen, share a bit about the factory, Diane's lasagna. One guy, Walt, lost his brother young. We'll sit after, splitting a donut, not saying much but saying enough. I join a walking group. 2, mornings at the park, me and some retirees shuffling along, griping about the cold. It's not the Olympics, but my legs feel stronger and I'm not panting as much. Food's better now. I bought groceries. Chicken, potatoes, green beans, not just hungry man trays. Tried Diane's lasagna recipe last week, botched it, but it tasted like home. I'm sleeping deeper, not waking up gasping. Been fixing stuff around the house. Patched a hole in the drywall, oiled the squeaky gate. Pulled out my old guitar, strummed a few chords. Sounds like a cat fight, but I'm practicing. Even started a journal. Nothing fancy. Just scribbling what I did, what I miss. Helps me see I'm still here, not just a guy with a remote. The TV's still on most days. Can't kick it cold turkey. Jeopardy's my dinner date, NCIS my bedtime story. But it's not the whole show anymore. There's Mike, dragging me to the Legion for ribs. There's Walt, asking if I'm coming to the next meeting. Katie's visiting in June, says she's bringing her dog. Smokey's in for it. Brian's planning a call this weekend. Wants to talk Super Bowl bets. I'm not naive. Things fall through, but I've got hope, and that's new. Last Sunday, I was in the backyard, pruning Diane's roses. TV off, first time in months. Found a bud, small but stubborn, pushing through the frost. I sat there, Smokey at my feet, and felt her, Diane, not gone, just different, like she's rooting for me, saying, Tom, you're still my guy. The quiet wasn't heavy, not this time. I'm not fixed, not the man I was, father, husband, king of the grill, but I'm building something, piece by piece, my voice, my days, my life. I went inside, turned on MASH asterisk, but kept the volume low. I'm here, talking to myself, to you, and it's starting to sound like enough. All right, my friends, that's my story for today. If it hit you where you live, maybe made you nod or tear up, leave me a comment. I read everyone, and your stories light me up. If you're new or just passing through, hit that subscribe button. Join us. We're all in this aging thing together, figuring out how to keep the spark alive. Thanks for being here, for listening to an old guy ramble. It means the world. Catch you in the next one.